So flood advisory in some spots, but the bigger story is the flash flood warning.
Oh.
And yeah, that is certainly something that folks in Wayne County and Macomb County are going, yeah, there's a lot of water out there in some spots. Let's do that first, Bree. Let's talk a little bit about these rainfall totals that we have seen so far, officially reported by the National Weather Service. Some of these areas, look at Bloomfield Hills, 2.57 inches of rain since last night through today. That's a lot of water. Troy over 2, Orchard Lake over 2, and some spots might even be higher still. So that flash flood warning continues to remain in effect for Wayne County and Macomb County. Now, it's not all of Wayne County or all of Macomb County, but it is a lot of spots within these counties. So you look at Hamtramck through the Grosse Pointe Parks, Grosse Pointe Farms, Grosse Pointe Woods, up to St. Clair Shores, East Point, Roseville, all included in this flash flood advisory just south of the city of Warren as well, also included in it. Now, the rain within the warning, and this is very good news, the rain is actually dropping out of it. So it rained for like almost an hour straight, which is what prompted the flash flood warning in the spots. But if you look closely, you'll notice that the heaviest rain has traveled south of it and is moving through Ontario. In fact, even at this point, a bit south of Windsor as it tracks in that direction. So it's all of those areas in Canada that are now seeing the heaviest rain, and spots in here, in this zone right in here where the warning is, seeing less rain. This is all a good sign. So this is all saying that less flash flooding, less rain is adding to it. So less rain inside that flash flood warning bubble right there, but still likely a lot of water piling up, still a lot of water that is ponding. And this is a good time to be reminded that if you see a big area of water, just leave it alone. Leave it alone. Turn around. Go somewhere else. Don't try to drive through it. Don't try to walk through it. You don't know how deep it is. You don't know what's inside of it. So just all reminders here. This is a stationary-ish kind of system. So stationary in the sense that there's not a lot of motion to it. So when it's raining on you, it's really raining for a while on top of you. And the projections look like this as far as how much more rain we could see. Yeah, it could be over a half an inch. In fact, it could be over 3/4 of an inch for certain spots as that rain continues to drop down to our south over the course of the next several hours. Here's the big picture, and it's funny because you look at this big picture and you go, it doesn't really look all that bad, but when you zoom in is when you start realizing that there are pockets here of heavy rain that continue to remain stationary, which means spots that have already gotten the rain will continue to see more. It's not just us. Hey, misery loves company. Look down at Fort Wayne, Indiana, down there in northern Indiana and northern Ohio, another spot where that rain is very heavy and it is not moving. So they might be dealing with flash flood warnings within the next couple of hours as they see that water pile up and pile up and pile up. Timeline to dry out will be after 10 p.m. So we're going to see spotty rain. And when you see the rain, remember, it could last for a while. So we'll see the rain until roughly 8, 9, 10 o'clock. Then we'll begin to see that rain come to an end as it drops south and out of here. And then a drying trend will take us into the weekend. Saturday and Sunday are both expected to be dry days, although Saturday will be humid. Sunday, they're both going to be hot, but Sunday's going to be less muggy, so it'll actually feel a little bit better. Here's the weekend forecast. Your wet Friday, no question to it. We're dealing with this wet day. 80s, maybe optimistic. We might get stuck in the upper 70s today because of the clouds and the rain, but still, we'll go 83 degrees. 88 Saturday and Sunday. Drier stretch of weather takes us into next week. By Tuesday of next week, we're going to have that rain and that thunderstorm threat return as those temperatures become a little bit more manageable, palatable by next week. We're looking at 75 to about 80 degrees and no humidity. So a good looking next week.
Good looking next week, but not today, unfortunately.
Yeah, today, that rain, and there are people that are really doing everything they can to make sure that that water doesn't pile up or creep into their house, or if it's already there, trying to pump it out and get rid of it. So, yeah, flash flood warning is it's a serious thing, and it's the type of things we do see in the summer. We haven't seen a lot of them this year, so you start seeing them, you're reminded we're still in this summer tropical rain type pattern, and that rain can come down quick, and it is today.
So what do you do to prevent it? What do you do to prevent the floods?
Well, you make sure your sump pump is working. If you have a sump pump, you can check to make sure that you're hearing it pump that water out of the house. You know, the way it works, it all comes down into a barrel and then it pumps out of the house. So check to make sure that that is working. If that is not working, well, you start moving stuff off the ground. You get your shop vac ready in case that water starts kind of piling over. In some cases, that's the rough part about flooding events. Sometimes there's not always something you can do about it. I mean, if you have sandbags and the water is coming closer to you, you can try to put some of those out. But a lot of times it starts coming up through the basement in one way or another, and you deal with it on the back end.